Good morning, everybody, somebody, whoever's watching this. And maybe it's not morning, maybe it's afternoon. Today, I thought maybe I'd do something a bit selfish and work on neck and shoulders. Because I don't know about you, but the upheaval of everything and lack of routine and having everything just so crazy right now. I have a feeling I'm not the only one holding it in my neck and shoulders a little bit. So I figured we'd do a neck and shoulders Aldoa class today. You do need one thing, if possible. I'd like you to have, if you can, a belt or a stretchy TheraBand or a yoga strap. So just something to do a bit of shoulder work, which many of you have done with me in the past. Okay, so let's get started. I have my band there, and I'm just gonna come up to a standing position, feet nice and parallel, relaxed breath, and I'm gonna inhale my arms up. Inhale up, and then exhale down. And one more time, inhale up, and exhale down. Let's do one more, just that lucky 3. Inhaling up, and exhaling down, and you're gonna roll your shoulders back easy. It would be great if you could take it easy today. So yes, it's Aldoa, yes, there's effort involved, yes, we're kind of like using maximum effort in certain moments, but give yourself permission to ease into that. So shoulders are rolling forward. I'm gonna tilt my head to one side and just slide my right hand down towards the floor and then come back up. Tilt my head over to the left, slide my left arm down and come back up. I always notice a big difference from side to side in this side bending, but that's okay. You go as far as is comfortable and you use your breath. So let's exhale, inhale, exhale, and inhale. And we're gonna do those arms one more time. Inhaling up and exhaling down. And again, inhaling up and exhaling down. You guessed it, keep your arms up. Inhale up. My fingertips are touching lightly and I exhale over. Inhale up through center. Exhale over. Inhale up through center. Notice if your weight is shifting on your feet, try to keep both feet equally weighted if possible. Exhaling over and inhaling up. Relax your arms down. If it feels good, a roll down. Roll your shoulders back, soften your knees, nod your chin, and just let your spine drift to the floor. We'll stay here for 2 breath cycles, breathing in and out. So hang your head, let your arms hang. And then when you feel ready, you breathe in to prepare, and then you exhale and roll up through your spine, one bone at a time, to come back to tall. We're gonna start with internal-external rotation through the arms. Let's lead from the fingertips as we've done before, and allow the movement to ripple through the bones, up the arm to the shoulder girdle. So I start at the fingertips, those bones, and it ripples all the way up through each bone, all my wrist bones, my 2 forearm bones, and I'm starting to add a little bit of extension and flexion as it feels good. You don't have to do a whole lot, but just see if you can find that sequencing from your fingertips up to your shoulders, through your shoulder girdle and into your thoracic spine. And breathing in as you extend and exhaling as you flex. And one more time, inhaling to extend and exhaling to flex. And then relaxing your shoulders down. We'll go for a nice simple march, arms in opposition. You just can't have an Aldoa class without marching. It's just not a thing as far as I know. I'm sure it is actually, and I guess I have taught a couple of classes without the marching, but today is not that day. We have to get a little bit of warming up through our body. We have to get all the tissues moving from less of a, basically all the cells and the fluids, less of a solid state and more into a fluid state. So we're gonna use the marching. Now move through your feet. You can probably hear my feet. You might be able to hear your feet. See if you can keep your feet silent. So you are articulating your feet off and peeling them off and articulating them down. Stay with your legs, arms go up to the ceiling, tapping the same knee, tapping the same knee. This exercise is inspired by Miss Sasha Karlowitz, and it's a good coordination one, especially in the morning if you haven't been doing a whole lot of brain work like me. Here we go, 8, 7, 6, 5, reach up to the sky, 2, tap the opposite knee, 8, 7, 6, 5. Let's start to think about lengthening the spine. Same knee, 8, 7. So keep a tall spine, 3, 2, opposite knee, 4, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 4 of each, 4 of the same tap, and then switch now to opposite. 3, 2, same knee, 4, 3, 2, opposite knee, 4, 3, 2, same knee, 4, 4. And opposite, 4, 4. Get a little taller. Why not? Same knee, 4. And opposite knee, 4, 4. 2 of each, 2 of the same. Go 2 same, 2 opposite. 2 same, 2 opposite. 2 same, 2 opposite. Keep going, go a little faster. Same and opposite. Same, opposite. Quiet feet, tall spine. Opposite. 2 same, 2 opposite. Keep going. Same of 2, opposite 2. Now you're going as fast as you can, your own pace. Just 2 of everything, 2 of each. Faster for 10 more seconds. Kind of as fast as you think you can go. Don't compromise your spine, keep it tall. Last few seconds, faster if you can. Oh no, I messed up, okay. Almost made it to the end. Okay, I'm marching my feet on the spot, letting my arms relax. Keep marching, and just pull your shoulders back. So I'm just crossing my arms in front of me here, and then pulling my elbows back. It's not yet a thoracic movement, so let it be about the elbows. Widen your feet a little bit, side to side with your feet, so it's a wide march, pulling the elbows wide. Still, I know it's kind of funny, a little taller through your spine, and then bring your feet in underneath you, and go a little bit faster and add your sternum antepulsion forward, retropulsion back. Good, a little faster, just a touch. And then let's relax the arms down. Good, and then have your feet just in front. I don't know if you can you see my feet from here? You can, okay. So I'm just gonna lift all my toes, spread them wide, piano them down, peel them off. Try your best to get each toe moving individually. There's a real challenge there. I have 1 or 2 rogue toes. They're renegades. One more time, fanning the toes down and peeling them back up. Leave all your toes up here. Stand taller all the way through your spine. So I'm reaching through the crown of my head. All my toes are up. I'm gonna press the big toe down. Shift the weight to the outside of my foot. Grow a little taller. My tailbone is hanging. The crown of my head is floating up. And then I'm gonna bring my arms out in front of me. Then I'm gonna keep my spine and my arms reaching. Lift the big toe, put the outside 4 toes down, and try to press the arch of the foot into the floor. Arch of the foot down. See if you can turn your shin bones out, turn your thigh bones in. So the big toe is up, the arch is down, shin bones are out, thigh bones are in. One more cycle of that. Big toe up, arches press, the shin bones spiral out while the arches stay down, the thigh bones spiral in while the shin bones stay spiraling out, and then relax your arms down. Give your body a little wiggle wiggle, side to side, soften your knees, and just take your hips on a figure of 8. So we'll loosen everything up just for a moment. Get a nice infinity symbol shape through the hips, and then go the other way. So let your hips swivel on a figure of 8. Good, and then finally, just to warm up the knees, bring your feet right together, hands on your knees, and you'll circle your knees. About 8 circles in one direction. See if you can keep your feet mostly on the floor. They can move, but you don't want to be completely rolling off the soles of your feet. And you go from pretty much straight to bent in your circles. And then we'll go the other way. So the knees stay together. My inner thighs are working a little bit so that my knees don't go flying apart. My ankles are getting lots of mobility. Good. And then let's walk our feet out wide, hands on your knees, and just go into a round cat back. And then release all the way. So go through your whole spine, all the way from the tailbone through the lumbar, thoracic, and cervical spines, and then release all those spines, all 24 mobile vertebrae, including, so adding to that, the sacrum, the tailbone, and the skull. So there's a whole chain of movement. It's quite a lot of bones, a lot of movement. And you're gonna round up and then release. Just eke out a little bit more movement, flexing into your round cat back, and then releasing. And now we're gonna round into cat back, drop our arms, keep your knees soft, and roll all the way up through your spine until you're nice and tall. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna grab the band, belt, and or yoga strap that I have. Stand back here so you can see my arms. We're gonna take the right arm overhead first. Now what we're looking for is a straight spine. So we're gonna take the right arm overhead. It's like you're putting a towel around you after the shower, towel. So like that kind of movement, right? And then you're gonna complete the circle and bring your left arm overhead as well. For the first few circles, soft shoulders, soft collarbones and neck, and you are allowed to have, or you're allowed, have your elbows soft. So do the movement with soft elbows. And here you wanna notice, the reason I turn to the side is because I wanna notice if my head is getting out of the way or my ribs are moving out of the way. I don't want this to be my spine helping my arms get around. I want this to be movement at my shoulder girdle, getting my arms around. Okay, let's go the other way. So your left arm comes around like you're putting the towel over your shoulders, and then your right arm comes over to complete the circle. And you are breathing, and you are practicing some axial elongation. And you're trying to keep the shoulders and the neck soft, the jaw relaxed. Elbows are bent to allow you to move through that shoulder girdle a little more easily. And then we do one more. Doesn't look like a lot, but it's a good warm up, full range of the shoulders. Relax your arms down. Now we go to that classic kind of physio shoulder stretch. I'm gonna bring my arms up over my head and then bring them back. Now here, if you have a belt or something that doesn't stretch, you just have to hold it with enough slack in the middle that you can get your arms overhead. They don't have to go behind you. If they stop here, they stop here. And that's just fine, because what I'm trying to be aware of is whether or not, in order to get my arms back behind here, I'm moving my body out of the way. If you're moving your body out of the way, stop there. If you can keep your body straight, bring your arms back. So this is a good indication of whether or not your chest muscles are really tight. I have to focus a lot on letting my rib cage drop as my arms start to go overhead, because otherwise my ribs and my head want to go forward. Okay, that's enough of that one. Okay, relax everything a little bit. Let's do one roll down in between. So shoulders drift up, soften down, and then roll down through your spine. Breathe in here, stay here. You're gonna, on your inhale, stretch your legs a little bit. And on your exhale, bend your knees. So you keep going. If you're not sure, I'm turning to the side to show you. Inhaling to stretch, exhaling to bend. We're going to keep going just a few more breaths, but I want everyone to get a chance to let that posterior chain of the body get a moving stretch. Inhaling to stretch the knees, exhaling to soften, don't push it. And one more time, inhaling to stretch, and exhaling, soften the knees and roll all the way up through your spine. And then here we are, back again, same towel exercise, but this time straighter elbows. So my right arm is gonna go overhead. I'm gonna bring my left arm behind and try to keep my ribs, head, and shoulders in line. So the right arm, let's go the same way a couple of times. How much do you have to move your head out of the way? If you have a mirror nearby, go try this in front of the mirror because it'll be really helpful, because I've realized in classes now doing this exercise that a lot of people are doing things and they don't even know that they are. They think they're keeping straight, but it's really tricky. Your body is so smart. Your brain knows you're supposed to make a circle with your arms, and if your shoulders don't have that range, your brain will say, okay, neck, just move out of the way, and we'll complete the circle. Okay, let's go to the other side. So your left arm goes overhead, you bring the band or the strap behind you, and then down and around. And you also might notice, like I'm kind of noticing right now, one side feels a little bit easier than the other, or one direction. One circle direction feels a little bit more manageable than the other, and I don't know why. Tightness through that shoulder, tightness through the chest. Maybe I use one shoulder in a certain way more than the other. So these are good things just to be aware of. Okay, and then let's rest the arms down. And one more time for the shoulder, the pec stretch. Arms go up and over. Note your alignment. Keep it and bring your arms back. Inhale your arms up. Longer, taller spine as your arms go down. One more time. Inhaling up. And exhaling down. Inhaling up. And exhaling down. Whew, there's a lot of shoulder work there. Let's move into Eldoas. So the first Eldoa we're going to do is our general standing Eldoa, just to get our brains into position for that. So lifting your toes, lift all your toes. Stand tall. Find the crown of your head. You can put your hand there if you want. Find your tailbone and reach them away from each other. So my tailbone stretches downwards towards my heels. My head stretches up to bump up against the ceiling. I'm going to have my low back moving back into a posterior tilt. I'm going to keep my big toes lifted and place the outside four toes down. You should feel your pinky toe on the floor. And then drop your arches into the floor. So big toes up, arches down, tail down, crown up. You want to try and master all the subtleties of this right from the beginning. They don't have to be perfect, but try to keep an element of everything. Bring one arm out into external rotation with a flat palm, and then the other arm out, external rotation with a flat palm. So just as my tailbone is reaching and the crown of my head is pressing up, because you're still doing that, right? Your arms are also pressing forward towards me or towards the wall in front of you. Big toes up, arches down. Let's add the legs. Turn your shin bones out. Turn your thigh bones in. And do that a couple of times. Shins out, thigh bones in. Shins out with the arches down. Thigh bones in with the shins turning out. Tail down, low back, back. Draw your ears and your neck spine gently back and nod your chin to lengthen the back of the neck spine. Inhale, arms up towards the ears. Ribs drop back in space. They follow the lumbar spine, which is going back to the wall behind you. The back of my neck is sliding back. And now I'm going to push through my arms up to the ceiling. Eyes are dropped down, my chin remains tucked, and I'm nodding from right up between my ears. I've got maybe a bit of a double chin feeling happening. That's great. Let your tailbone push to the floor. Push your hands and your head up against the ceiling and see if you can stretch your body using your musculature, opening all 24 mobile vertebrae so the tailbone is dropping, the crown of the head is pushing up, and your arms lift you as well. Your legs ground you, and you're breathing in and out through the nose and mouth if you like. Arms closer to the head if you can. Back beside the ears, dropping the ribs. Tail stretching, but then push the ceiling away and open your body up. Big toe up, arch down. Shin bones out, thigh bones in. Tail tucked, low back back, rib cage back. Reaching up through the arms, spiraling them out. And let's soften one arm at a time, slowly. One toe and foot, and then legs, and then spine and eyes. Coming down onto the mat now. So here we are. Wonder if I think this is a good spot. Okay, so we're gonna come all the way down onto the mat. Let's go for a seated position. This is a neck and shoulders class, but I'm gonna get us started with the seated postures first. So we're gonna have our feet flat, knees bent, about a 90-degree angle between your thighs and your shins, holding on to your legs. And then all I want you to do is rock back onto the back of your sit bones and then bring yourself up onto your sit bones. It's a really small movement for now. And every time you come back up onto your sit bones, you're gonna see if you can soften the front of the hip crease. So it's a small enough movement that your hip flexors don't start to pull in. You can even use your arms a little bit if you want to help bring you all the way up. And rocking back and forth. Now just stay on top of your sit bones. Don't do anything too crazy yet. Reach one arm out and just practice having one arm out in space and growing a little bit taller and straighter through your spine. Maybe you can even ramp your head up and back a little bit and see if you can globally lengthen crown to tail. And then what if you brought that arm up towards your ear and paused here for a moment? Can you maintain everything gently but with length? And then float your arm back down. And then we'll go back and forth. One, and remember, it's really subtle. Small movements onto the back of the sit bones and then up. And one more time, back of the sit bones and then the top. Bring your left arm out, or the other arm, whichever arm you didn't use, and then bring it up towards your ear and see if you can maintain a little bit of length through your spine. Let your sit bones sink into the floor. Can your arm be back beside your ear, or is it in front? Where can it be where you won't lose the alignment of your head and your neck? And then bring your arm down. Okay, and then I'm just gonna relax my arms back, and I'm gonna let my knees separate, my feet a little bit wider maybe, and let my knees go side to side. Because yes, it's hip flexory. That's okay, it's only a minute. So when we're ready, I'm gonna come around and face you this time. We're gonna add the lemniscate of the lower leg. So same position, 90 degrees with the legs, sitting relatively tall, maybe rock back onto the back of your sit bones and then gently bring yourself up on top of them. If you know you tend to hang back here, see if you can bring your sternum forward a little bit more. And if you know you're a rib thruster, drop your ribs back to the wall behind you. Lift your big toes. Yeah, it's happening. Drop your arches into the floor. Don't work too hard yet though. Just think about what we're doing one bit at a time. Externally rotate the shin bones, but look down at your own arches and make sure they don't rotate out as well. So my feet don't change. My arches stay down, but my shin bones are spiraled out. It's an interesting feeling. And then the thigh bones are spiraling in. And this one is tricky for me to feel. But I try to think about maybe rolling my leg bones in at the thighs, while from the knee to the ankle I'm rolling out. Keeping my arches down, big toes up. Hands on the knees for some support, and then sink your tailbone into the floor, but rebound up through the crown of your head. And see if you can hold this for a couple of breaths. Your lemniscate legs, toes, arches, shins out, thigh bones in, and let's release one arm at a time into external rotation. Now this is T8-9. Do a little shift of your ribs side to side, and as you shift, see if you can find the base of your shoulder blades and go a little bit below that. So we're gonna Go for T8, below the shoulder blades. Where are they? All right, let's stop in the center. Draw your ears back. Maintain your leg lemniscat gently. Inhale your arms up towards your ears. They're going to be quite close if possible. If not, if you're losing your spine alignment, bring your arms a little bit more forward. Palms are flat. I'm going to try and stretch open all 5 fingers. And then I'm going to press the crown of my head up. Keep my ribs and my low back flat and back. And then finally, draw my ears back, nod from the top of my chin, and just gently look down, maybe a little bit past my feet. And then I breathe and I stay here. Now I can decide, is this my maximum for the next 10 seconds? Maybe. I'll stay here for 10 seconds. Breathing in and out. Finding that level below the shoulder blades to float up towards the ceiling. And then from there down, anchoring down through the tailbone. And now maybe I can go higher. Maybe my arms can push more. I can push a little bit more. Yeah, they can lift. My shoulder blades can lift. My neck spine is still in place, and I'm going to try and bring my arms back. And then I stay here for the next 10 seconds. My big toes are up and my arches are pressing. Shin bones out, thigh bones in, tail down, crown up. My arms can press more. My palms can open more, so I'm going to go higher. But I'm also going to anchor down through my sit bones and my tailbone. And I'm still breathing. See if you can go just a little bit more. When you're ready, push your arms up more. You probably have more room. And then anchor your tailbone down, don't lose your arms. And then rebound up through the crown of your head. Bring your arms back and closer if you can to your head. Nod your chin. Breathe in below the shoulder blades. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring one arm down slowly. Keep your spine in your eyes. Then the other arm, keep the spine. Rebound up through the crown of the head. Soften your feet, your shins, your legs, your spine, and your eyes. And then once again, recline back on your hands. That felt like a lot of work. Separate your feet, flex your feet, and let your knees just drift gently side to side. Nice work, everybody. I am trying to keep my sit bones planted, but they're moving a little bit, I can tell. They're moving underneath me just a touch. Let's just take a little intermediate stretch here. Either you can do this quad stretch on your side or on your back. So I can bend the bottom leg, hold on to the top foot. If you want, you can flex your foot and hold your ankle, or you can point your foot and hold your hold more the front of the foot. And I'm just gonna see if I can reach my kneecap towards the opposite edge of my mat. And then I'm keeping my spine long. And if you're doing this, so if you like the side version, stay there, or you can do it on your back, or on your front. This is not your back, this is your front, where you're holding, again, at the ankle if you like, and trying to get the hip bones a little bit pressed into the mat, and the front of the thigh pressed into the mat. And you can, again, hold on to your foot or your ankle. And then let's switch to the other side. So I'm going to hold on to my foot or my ankle, see if I can keep my hips nice and square. Take some nice deep breaths. If it feels good, feel free to stop the video at any point and just do this stretch again as an intermission. Okay, let's come out of it slowly. Press yourself up to a seated position, moving into the second seated elbow, T6-7. Some of you love it and some of you hate it, but we're all gonna do it, doesn't matter. So put your fingertips in a wide open prayer position, put your thumbs against your sternum, right up against your breastbone. Slide your ribs side to side, so translating the ribs side to side. And notice if you have a mirror, working out at home is amazing if you have a mirror, because you can see all the things that we do in class and notice whether or not your translations include actually side bends or if they're true straight translations. and then circle. Mirrors are very helpful when we're talking about the subtleties, like things we do in Aldoa, where we want to feel the difference in our spines, the difference between a side bend and a translation, or the difference between anteversion, retroversion, forward and back. So try some forward and back. Good. And then relax your arms. If you can, go ahead and switch to the other side. And if you are doing the full version, you're going to flex and evert your feet and press your knees down in towards the floor. My tailbone drops into the floor. My fingertips come to my shoulders. I'm going to grow a little taller. Put that image of a wall behind you and try and flatten and lengthen yourself up along the wall. So I have to press down, but I also have to grow taller up through my spine. My arms are going to stretch slowly up towards the sides of my head, fingertips reaching to the ceiling. I'm still keeping my knees anchoring or weighted down, feet everted and toes pulled back. Draw your ears back and lengthen your neck spine, and then nod from your chin to look, from your top joint to look down towards the floor. Now use your breath to get into T6-7. Inhale your arms up, exhale them closer together. Inhale them up and exhale them closer. Remember your open prayer position. Inhale them up. Now find that open palm prayer position. Keep your arms stretching up to the ceiling. This is an excellent Aldoa for your shoulders. Can you, if you know you round in your upper back, can you keep your sternum forward but bring your arms back? If you know you thrust your ribs forward, can you bring your rib cage back and bring your arms back? If you know your head likes to move forward, can you bring your neck spine back, tuck your chin, and then bring your arms back? So everything is truly lined up. Now you have more room. Reach your arms up, go up another millimeter, 1 millimeter only, and then anchor your knees down another millimeter. Try to keep your spine centered. Engage your feet by flexing, everting them, and press your knees down, press your tail down, then rebound up through the arms. Use the lats. Imagine that you have wings on your back. They're reaching all the way up through your arms, out through your fingertips. The crown of your head tries to stretch up towards where your fingertips are. And we hold for 10 more seconds. And you breathe into that amazing stretch right in the mid-back, just above the base of the shoulder blades for 5, 4, keep the legs, keep the spine, the eyes, and reach the arms, bring them back, close the palms, 1 more breath, and then soften, 1 arm at a time, breathing as you come out of the Aldoa, softening your legs, relaxing your spine, relaxing your eyes, well-deserved break, lying down on your back. So here we go. All the way down onto the back. Just notice your spine on the floor. Let your upper back rest. Let your pelvis rest. Let's do a little posterior anterior tilt. Posterior and anterior, mainly to get the lumbar spine lengthened into the floor. Seeing if you can do that without squeezing your bum too much. So you're gonna see if you can just use the image of your tailbone stretching away and maybe a little bit up. At the top of your posterior tilt, your tailbone might have to lift a little bit in order for the lumbar spine to anchor down. And let's keep a posterior tilt. So my lumbar spine is flat into the floor. I'm gonna float my arms up, palms facing each other. And I just want you to practice maintaining your posterior tilt and then bringing your arms back halfway. So about a 45-degree angle back, and then bringing your arms forward 45 degrees. Now, as you do this, back 45 degrees, forward 45 degrees, can you notice any change in your spine, or are you able to keep your spine long, your lumbar spine anchored. Maybe the crown of your head can continue reaching a little bit gently to the top of the mat. One more time, back and forward, and then pause your arms in the center. Add your external rotation and flat palms and try it here. Back 45 degrees, forward. Now, as I move my arms back and forth, can I maintain the external rotation? Back and forth. And one more time, back and forth, and then relax your arms down. Relax your spine. Here we go. Take a big breath in. Exhale, find your posterior tilts. Take another breath in. Exhale, drop the ribs to the floor, drop the sternum to the floor, nod your chin and lengthen your spine. Bring your right leg up to tabletop with the foot higher than the knee. Left leg up as well, foot higher than the knee. Let your knees draw in and allow yourself to rock up onto the top of your sacrum. See if you can keep the rib cage anchored. Bring your arms up over your chest. Elongate your spine along the mat. Externally rotate your arms. Flatten your palms. Widen the palms of the hands. Take an inhale. Exhale the arms down 45 degrees. Let's stay here. C3-4, about the level of your hairline. Can you reach through your arms? Make sure your shoulders aren't lifting towards your ears. Can you anchor your rib cage down towards the floor? Start to breathe slowly and think slowly. How is it possible for me to reach my arms further? Is it possible for me to reach my arms further past my legs and then keep the crown of my head stretching towards the top of my mat? Your eyes are down. Work to consciously soften your jaw and your throat. Easy smile if you can. Really gentle, tiny smile. Push your arms a little further. Let the crown of your head stretch a little more. Check in on your ribs, your waistline, they're down. You're rocked onto the top of the sacrum. The knees are drawn in over the torso. And we're going to hold here for 10 more seconds. Reach your arms further. Stretch your spine longer. Get the back of the head to stretch gently away from your arms. One more breath there. And then inhale your arms up. Take some of the tension out of the system, but leave your arms overhead. Let your eyes drift back up to the ceiling. Externally rotate your arms. Nod your chin in. Feel the back of the neck and the neck spine itself getting longer. And then when you're ready on an inhale, bring your arms back 45 degrees. So the arms reach 45 degrees back. My eyes are down, looking through my knees. I'm working to actively drop the upper spine down between my shoulder blades. I'm working to actively elongate my spine along the mat. The crown of my head is still stretching down. My arms are going to push, 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 push. And I said, take it easy, but see if you can grow with every breath into the posture a little bit more. We're going to be here for another 15 to 20 seconds, so you can think, can I rock onto my sacrum and elongate globally through my spine? Can my arms reach further? Can I push a little further? Can the crown of my head stretch? Are my ribs, waistline, and upper back long and lengthening along the mat? 5 more seconds here. Easy breath, soft jaw, soft throat. Last breath, in and out. And then soften one arm down, the other arm down, one foot, the other foot, and then relax your spine. Put your hands on your low belly and just take a couple nice deep belly breaths. In through the nose and out through the mouth. About 20 seconds of rest here before we go into our next neck eldoas. You're going to see if you can actually release tension. So I notice my collarbones have some tension. My shoulders are a little tense. I'm going to try and let them widen and fall open into the mat. Okay. This is a video, so you can pause it if you need a break. But we're going to keep going. Here we go. Two of my favorites, C6-7 and T1-2. We are going to do them back to back. And like I said, it's a video, so feel free to pause. I'm going to torture myself a bit and make myself do them back to back. So here we go. Arms up over the chest. C6-7 near the base of the neck spine. T1-2 kind of behind the collarbones. So let's start with C6-7. I'm bringing my legs in to my favorite neck spine Aldoa position. If you're feeling this is too much work for your legs and you want to just pull your knees in and hold them close in, I'm fine with that. If you want to keep your feet down and keep your posterior tilt and your tailbone reaching, do that too. Your spine and your breath are paramount. So as long as your spine and breath are in place, all the rest is gravy. So here we go. So I'm going to set my legs up in my desired position. Arms go up over my chest, sinking my sternum and my ribs down. Lots of effort there, but at the same time, I want to be able to breathe into my back. External rotation of my arms, flat palms. I am lengthening my spine, my neck spine first, and then nodding from between my ears. And here I go. Inhaling to prepare. Longer spine, exhaling, dropping the ribs and bringing the arms down by my sides. Now I'm going to push my arms down past my hips and see if I can maintain this really long spine along the mat. Eyes down and chin tucked. I can feel my sternum lifting to the ceiling, so I'm going to try and bring it back down to the floor and then elongate my arms again. If you have hyperextending elbows like I do, try to put the tiniest bend in your elbows and then reach again. So let's hold here about 30 more seconds, rocked up onto the top of the sacrum, in a strong posterior tilt. If your feet are down, push your arms past your hips, open your palms, let your middle finger point straight down to the mat. Drop your sternum into the earth, let the back of your neck stretch long, and breathe. 10 more seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, get longer, grow into the position. 3, 2, 1, arms inhaling up. Take a second, releasing some of the effort. External rotation of the arms, lengthening of the spine. Let's move into T1-2. Take a breath in. Exhale your arms overhead. They're close to my ears this time and my ribs sink. Now on my inhale, I'm going to see if I can reach my arms and lengthen my spine. And then on my exhale, I drop the ribs and the sternum down. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to drop. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to drop. 2 more times. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Stay with it now. See if you can lengthen your spine a little more. Can you get more length between your tail and your crown? Between your arms and your sit bones? Pull your knees in. Sink the sternum into the floor. And then let's soften. One arm up, the other arm up. One foot down, the other foot down. Relax your arms, spine and eyes. Hands back on the low belly. Maybe you want to do that quad stretch again if you like. If not, you can stay here. There's 2 options for resting position. One is your feet together and your knees apart to release your hips that way. The other is feet apart, knees together to let the low back rest. So you can pick your favorite position for that. I'm going to just take a couple more breaths here in my resting position, whichever one suits me best in the moment. Okay. Let's roll onto our sides and do an Aldoa for our acromioclavicular joint. So some of you have done this Aldoa before in class with me. If you haven't, it's not complicated, but there's a bunch of little steps. So just take it as far as you want. You'll probably feel a stretch after we add the first thing. So you can stay there and it's still a lovely stretch. If you want to take it all the way to the end with the translation of the CT block, we'll do that. So what am I talking about? What is the translation of the CT block? Sit in a comfortable position and then put your hands at the base of your neck spine. The very obvious bones at the base of your neck are around the area we want to work, the CT block, where your cervical spine ends and your thoracic spine begins. And right at that juncture, we're calling that the CT block. And what you want to do is see if you can palpate it first, get a sense of where it is, and then see if you can maybe translate a little bit side to side. And I find one side a little easier than the other. And I'm not trying to translate at the top of my neck. I am actually trying to translate at the CT block, at the junction at the base of my neck. It's a little bit different, okay? So we're gonna come back to that. There's your CT block. You either use that or don't. It's gonna be up to you. So now I'm gonna have my, you can have your feet bent, cross-legged, or if you want to join me in this position, which I know is universally not very enjoyable for most people, but I'm going to go from here just so you can see where everything is happening. I'll go on an angle. Now your acromioclavicular joint, if you walk your fingers along your collarbone towards the end, before you reach your actual shoulder, you'll feel like a little P-shaped bone. You'll feel some irregularity, and that is approximately like maybe an inch in from the actual end of the shoulder, the acromioclavicular joint. So you can choose to have a hand there if you like, just to remind you where we're working. I'm going to take that hand, the arm that's stretching, and I'm going to externally rotate it and bring it down. So how about, just for simplicity's sake, we'll all do the left arm. So everyone's going to do the left arm. So I'm going to take my left arm down by my side, external rotation. If I'm a hyperextendee, I'm going to soften my elbow a little bit, and I'm going to gently elongate my spine before I move on to anything else. So the arm is externally rotated by my side, and my spine is in axial elongation. If I bring my ears and neck back as well, that would be good. And then I'm going to bring my arm also slightly back and see if I have any more room for external rotation there. So I might have a little bit more external rotation available to me. And if you gently push down through the palm of your hand, toward your left hand towards the floor, don't go too much or you'll side bend your thoracic spine. You might find a little bit of work in the arm, a little sensation. Okay, let's work from the neck spine only. So if you have a mirror, it's helpful here. Try not to move your torso. Keep your torso perfectly straight and upright. I'm going to side bend my neck to the right. To the right. So that's away from my stretching arm. My left arm is stretching down and slightly behind me, externally rotated, and my neck spine is side bent to the right. So already I feel a stretch. You could stay here. If you want to move on to the next step, take your neck spine, keep your torso upright, and rotate it to the left. So now my head and my neck turn towards the left, my stretching arm. And you can stay here. So side bending away, turning towards. Adding another step if you like, nod from way up between your ears. So you actually lift your skull up and off your spine and look down over your cheekbones. And then finally, if you want more, you translate the CT block away from the left arm. So translate the base of your neck spine to the right. So from the beginning, try not to move, but just add and adjust. Your left arm is slightly behind you, externally rotated, with the palm pressing down. Your torso is perfectly straight and upright. Your neck spine is side bending to the right. Your neck, spine, and head are rotated to the left. You have nodded from way up between the ears, and you've translated the CT block to the right. And then you breathe, find a little more elongation, press the palm down, and then you soften your fingers first. Wrist, forearm on the left side. Let your spine come back to center. Relax your eyes. How'd it go? Does one side feel any different than the other side? Hopefully. Okay. Let's do the other side. So again, any position you want. You could also be seated up on a block if that's a little bit easier here for you. Okay, so I'm going to have my tailbone stretching down, the crown of my head up. And this is a gentle axial elongation. It's not no superfluous tension, as they say in the Eldoa manual. You're going to walk your fingers across your collarbone until you find kind of a irregularity in the bone, a little P-shaped P-shaped bone. Fingers can lightly land on there. The palm is flat, externally rotated with the right arm now by my side. And now I'm going to bring my arm slightly behind me and make sure I have as much external rotation there as is possible. Pressing my palm down into the floor without side bending my thoracic spine. So I am as upright through my torso as possible. So starting with a nice lengthening of the spine, the arm is in place, slightly back, pressing down, externally rotated. And you can stop here, or you can start with your neck spine just with the side bend. Side bending your head to the left. Your right ear lifts a little bit. Your torso stays straight, so don't side bend the torso. Stay here if you like, or add the next step, which is rotation. Rotating the neck spine and the skull to the right. So I'm looking down towards the same direction where my stretching arm is. Side bent away, turned towards. Then I nod from way up between my ears and see if I can get a little flexion at the very top of my neck spine. No flexion in the torso. And then, where's my CT block? Base of my neck spine. It translates to the left. So, starting from the arm, stay where you are, but add and adjust movements. External rotation, slightly behind you, palm reaching down flat, spine is long. Your neck spine is side bent away from the arm. Your neck spine and skull are rotated to look towards the arm. I'm nodding from up between my ears, and then I'm translating my CT block to the left. And I'm holding here and breathing. And then I'm going to soften my fingers first. Keep everything else. Soften your forearm and your upper arm. Soften your spine and your eyes, and come back to center. Okay. Last thing here is L5S1, which I know isn't part of your neck spine, but because it's such a fantastic reset for the entire spine and the whole body, we're doing L5S1 too. So I'm going to set myself up at the wall. Let's put our mats up against the wall and get ready for L5S1. We have our mats up against the wall. We're going to get in the same way as usual. Scoot your hips right towards the wall. Swing your legs up. Are you happy we made it to the end? I'm really happy I made it to the end. It's hard. Although it was hard. And doing these videos, demonstrating everything, I don't get to go around and poke and prod everybody, so I'm actually having to do what I ask you guys to do all the time. Okay, so I'm going to just pause here for a second. Let my legs be pretty relaxed. If your knees have to be a little bit bent, let them be a little bit bent, and go ahead and flex and point your feet and let your heels slide up and down the wall. See if you can feel evenly weighted at the back of your pelvis. And I'm going to circle my ankles now, so a couple of ankle circles in one direction, keeping my thigh bones still, and then circling my ankles in the other direction, keeping my thigh bones. So I'm just going slow because it feels like a good stretch for the soles of my feet right now. And then I'm going to relax my legs and let my knees soften. have my arms down by my sides, and I'm going to work on sinking my lumbar spine into the floor. So I just feel that the lumbar spine, the low back, is dropping down. Maybe I'll float my arms up over my chest, and then let's bring our waist and our ribs down as well. Add a little length through the back of your neck and nod from your top joint way up there. And see if you can take the next couple of breaths just to work on moving your spine with your breath. So what I mean by that is, can you inhale and lengthen your spine? Can you exhale and drop more of your ribs, your waist, your lumbar spine, and your upper back down? So when you inhale, you get longer. When you exhale, you get flatter. So you're just using your breath. It's gentle. One more time. Inhale, longer spine. And then exhale, keep the length, but drop it, flatten it. All right, let's keep exactly that. Don't change your spine. Stretch one leg up the wall and then the other leg. Invert your feet so you see the soles of your feet look in at each other. And then slide your heels out a touch to internally rotate your legs. Toes don't touch. Externally rotate your arms and flatten your palms. See if you can push up against the ceiling a little bit. See if you can push your legs up the wall a little bit. And then exhale your whole spine down and flatten it more. Let's do that again. Inhale, push the heels and the hands up. Exhale, drop the spine down, lengthen it. Okay, here we go, using the arms. Inhale your arms back, right beside your ears, close to your head if you can, and close to the floor but not resting. Eyes are down, looking through your knees. Heels stretch up the wall, toes pull down. Maybe I'm going to push my calf muscles into the wall and float my heels a tiny bit, and then reach my arms past my ears all the way to the top edge of my mat. Try to stretch your arms long to the top of your mat. And then stay here and breathe. So inhaling to lengthen your spine, exhaling to drop and flatten your spine. Inhale to lengthen. All four limbs stretch away. Exhale, keep the length, but soften all the vertebrae down that want to lift. Again, use your inhale. Keep your palms and the soles of your feet open. Use your exhale. Keep the length. Drop the spine. Externally rotate your arms. Internally rotate your legs. And you have 10 more seconds to stretch all four limbs away, to open up the entire spine. Let L5, if you know where it is, sink into the floor. Reach up through your heels. Stretch your arms overhead. One more breath where everything stretches. You've grown into the longest position you can. And then you soften one arm, the other arm, one leg, the other leg. Relax your spine, relax your eyes. You can fold your legs in or keep them up the wall, whatever feels best for you. And if you want to close your eyes and take a couple of moments just to do a quick scan, make sure your body is relaxing. So much tension in that one. Maybe there was a lot of tension, so can you release it all? So I'll do a check of everything, including even the muscles that line my throat, and the muscles that run the front of my, along the front of my shins and my forearms, and the muscles, of course, that run along the length of my spine. So give yourself a couple of breaths to rest. I'm going to roll onto my side here to face back to you. Thanks for joining me on the video. Make sure you drink lots of water, stay hydrated, and I'm really looking forward to having everyone back in the studio. This is all temporary, I know. But I hope you're all keeping well, and yeah, take care, and I'll see you soon.